Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to another Path of Exile 2 video here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the build. Running tier 8 maps now. Just finished the tier 7 quest line and starting on the tier 8s. So first off, if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, really appreciate it. It helps me out. We hit 1,300 subs recently. The build's still going pretty strong. I'm gonna go ahead and run this map here. So it's got, you know, some decent stuff going on with it in terms of like the quantity. We've got a boss, we've got ritual, we've got +1 level from corrupted. It'd be nice if it was irradiated and had another +1 level. This is the map we're gonna be doing here, so got some pretty good waystone, increased drop chance. Go ahead and run the map. You can kind of see the clear speed, and then at the end of towards the end of the video, we'll take a look at the breakdown of the gear and the skills and the gems and the passive tree. Hopefully we don't die, just because there is, you know, quite a bit of like increased critical hit chance that the monsters have here. So they've got where was it? So extra crit damage bonus, and you know, 4 times the normal crit chance. So could potentially be a little bit nastier of a map than I generally run. Really, oh gosh, yeah, it's kind of goofy when you get frozen when you're using Stampede, because it actually kind of works to your benefit. You keep just sort of like gliding, so you kind of avoid a little bit of damage that way. I really do not like these guys that cast the Ice Storm. They're generally doing like a lot more damage than most of the other mobs. And then they have like a decent chance to freeze, especially with like all this crit chance they've got. So, playing a little bit more careful than I normally tend to, just because I really don't want to die until I kind of get a little bit more of a feel for how much damage I'm taking in this map. Just because I'm, you know, fairly early on in the tier 8 map quest line, so I've only done 1 so far, and it definitely did not have like all the crit modifiers, and it was not level 73. I think it was just level 72. So I kind of just use Stampede for clearing trash, and I've got very high, like, ooh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, okay. So on my potion, I do have like part of it is instant heal. I may actually want to like refill it, just but yeah, part of it's instant heal, 30% basically. So the benefit of that is I can like sit there and just kind of like spam it in like an emergency situation, and that has like saved me from dying on more than one occasion when I get into a really bad spot like that where you get frozen in the middle of like a pack.
You won't escape!
Yeah, dying in the maps is very bad, because then you kind of lose all the, like, you can rerun the map. Chaos damage is bad, because I have like 0 chaos resist. I do like that they took away like the negative resists. It's like you don't really go below 0. So not going below 0 is nice, because that was very punishing in PoE 1, where you just play through the game and then, you know, especially chaos resistance was very difficult to kind of obtain until very late in game. So anytime you ran into like chaos resistance damage or chaos damage, when you had like -60, oh, that is a corner. If you had -60 chaos resist, like, that was kind of bad. Alright, orbital bombardment. Just go ahead and clear out the room like that. Normally I just charge through everything, but I am playing a little bit more careful, especially since I'm recording the video. I don't want to die and look like a total noob. Yeah, normally I just spam this kind of without a care to the world. This map is making me actually have to play a little bit more strategically, which is fine. It makes it a little bit more interesting, because I have just been kind of like steamrolling everything. I'll come back and do the shrines after I clear the map, because I like to get the map credit before I take do some of the riskier content. Because if you die, like I said, you lose. This is, I think, the boss fight. Alright, we'll go ahead and take on the boss here.
I count it. I need more time.
So my build does pretty well against bosses, at least I assume so. I mean, I haven't played any other characters, but at least to me that's like not a very difficult boss fight. That's actually more challenging than they normally are. Again, just because probably being a little bit higher level of map, plus the crit damage, I'm just a little nervous about getting. Oh crap! Hate these guys. I'm just nervous about getting critted by a boss. Like, usually that doesn't end very well. Yeah, let me know in the comments like what build you're playing, what your clear speed is, like comparable to this on like a tier 8. I am level 79 currently, getting close to level 80.
Crush them!
I do have enough GCPs to max the quality on my Supercharged Slam. I know Supercharged Slam kind of got nerfed pretty significantly, but I think at least situationally, at least as a boss killing ability. I think once I get it to 20% quality, I'm fairly certain I can make like a wombo combo with it and one-shot bosses or rare monsters. I haven't even really had to for rare monsters because I usually just either one-shot or two-shot them with Stampede, or I one-shot them with Hammer of the Gods. So really the only time I even bother to use Supercharged Slam is during a boss fight, just because they have so much more value. On Stampede, I'm debating when I get it fully linked, possibly, oh my god, a lot of chaos damage there. Maybe, there we go. So we got the map completion. Kind of important when you're doing these quests, just because you don't really have a ton of like these higher tier maps. And getting like the Atlas passive 3 points is very important. The one thing that's really good about Stampede is just being able to move while you're doing damage. Lets you avoid like just a lot of projectiles and even like melee attacks. Like you can sort of kite things with it because of the way that it hits stuff behind you, and then the aftershocks. So that's really useful. If you're trying to just like supercharge slam like a pack, you have to sit there and you take a ton of damage while you charge it up, and it just doesn't really seem like a good strategy or very feasible. Like, I'm pretty sure just doing this is probably more efficient. But yeah, I mean, you can just like damage everything and avoid a lot of their attacks at the same time. Like if you kind of, because you can kind of steer it. So but yeah, I have I'm in my last video that I uploaded, I tested a mechanic, if you haven't seen it yet, but I do have 100% armor break on heavy stun, and that applies if you go back and watch that boss fight. You know, because there's some text, there's some wording on armor break, and it's gotta just be on the flat armor break, where it mentions different values for like different rarity of monsters, but the percentage based armor break does not seem to, you know, like it says it breaks 50% of armor, and I have it I have plus 100% armor break, so that turns that 50% into 100% armor break. The percentage based armor break does not, you know, from at least how it's functioning right now, it definitely is not mitigated by anything. So when I get a heavy stun, I fully break everything's armor. So I'm taking advantage of scavenged plating with that, because I'm able to maintain like full stacks of scavenged plating. Oh crap, it's lagging. Everything seems a little bit faster too. I don't know if things are getting like passively sped up as I progress through the maps, but everything definitely seems a lot faster than the Tier 7 maps. I'll have to check if there's like maybe there was a speed modifier. No, this isn't even a map or a waystone that had a speed modifier boost to it, so this is their like base speed at this level, and it seems significantly faster than what I'm used to from the Tier 7 maps. I haven't really noticed like a speed increase to the monsters as I've been playing through until now. And now everything seems like the last Tier 7 map I played had a 25% action speed increase. The maps in PoE 2 compared to PoE 1 are a lot more maze-like. So even just fully clearing the map can take at least a lot longer than PoE 1 due to the way you have to path. Because sometimes you like find yourself clearing out one path and then you're at the other side of a maze and you have to work your way back to like an area that we'll go ahead and do a ritual here. I have a feeling this is going to get pretty hairy with the chaos damage. And the beyond aspect to it. So as I kill these guys, it's going to start summoning beyond monsters. Okay, that wasn't too bad. That's actually really good. It's kind of like a get out of jail free card. It's kind of going to save you from dying. The Tier 8 map is definitely probably the next one we'll grab unless there's something better.
You won't escape!
Probably most of the remaining monsters are like those type where you have to get near enough to them that they activate. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do these two last rituals, and if we happen to come across the other monsters, we'll kill them, and then we'll take a look at the build. So I like to throw down a couple earthquakes before I activate the ritual. Sometimes if you've got like a little area like this you can utilize, where like you can take out a lot of the monsters from this other side of the wall. It's not necessarily a bad idea. Whoa. You can see how walking in front of there was a lot of firepower coming out of that room. chaos things. Alright, where's the last frickin' monster? Seriously? Oh. There we go. So there is a little bit of a risk when you spend your currency like early, because there could be something better that pops up. But at the same time, if you don't spend it and then you die, you also wasted it. So, you know, I feel like there's a good chance I could die, so I'm gonna go ahead and spend it. And then, you know, I could defer, hopefully.
Fear will best you.
Ooh. Oh gosh. Oh crap. A lot of those chaos orbs like chasing me around there. Oh, and then all these little robot kamikaze drones. Alright, we got it. Wanderlust. And I'll probably take Wanderlust just because it is a unique. Oh, yeah. One thing that's a little annoying about the Titan inventory here is it doesn't like function with everything as, you know, in the way that it should. I'll just take this. But yeah, like your stuff here doesn't get identified either. I don't think there's anything I want to defer here, really. Most of it looks kind of like garbage. Yeah, pretty much all garbage there. So we'll go ahead and head back to town. And we will take a look at the build. So I'll show you what I mean here. So when I identify my items, everything here does not get identified. If you go to your tab and try and like control click to move something in there quickly, it will not go into your inventory the way that it would, or it won't go into your stash the way that it normally would if it was in your inventory over here. So if I want to identify stuff or like control click it into my stash, I have to move it out like that. So not a bad run that we just had. Didn't die. We came away with quite a few higher tier maps, which is good.
Yes.
Alright, I think the rest of this is just stuff I'm gonna disenchant. I'm somewhat tempted to regal that, but it's probably not worth it.
Until next time.
Okay, so first off, we'll take a look at the skills, because it's a little bit quicker to go through that. So Mace Strike. The only thing that's really I've learned that you might not know is that concentrated effect increases the damage on it significantly, because it does have the AoE tag. So, you know, you can see the damage boost there. And if you're just like using this for hitting one target, really, it doesn't really create any issues there. So we've got Martial Tempo, Life Thief, Concentrated Effect, Brutality. I may switch this out in the down the road and take Brutality out for like the lightning. What do they call it? Like lightning infusion, because I think building up shock might be good to get a shock on something and then supercharge slam it. So right now, supercharge slam, I have Heft, Heavy Swing, and Rage Forged on it. So I'll show you the combos after I go through all the skills. So Earthquake, we've got Magnified Effect, Tremors. Tremors, I think really this is probably the only ability that I would use Tremors on. And then Main, because I use this more for like area denial and utility than damage, so I don't really worry too much about like the 35 less damage there. Hammer of the Gods, we've got Exploit Weakness, Aftershock, and then Ingenuity at the moment. Infernal Cry, we've got Premeditation, Raging Cry, and Enraged Warcry. Time of Need, I used to have one of these socketed in there, that's why it's a 3 socket. If I got 5 more Spirit, I would probably pick up the support where you recover 4% of life on kill, because that would be very useful in those situations where you're just in the middle of the packs, duking it out, killing a lot of mobs, but taking damage at the same time. So we've got Fast Forward and Clarity. The reason for Fast Forward is it does affect how often the ability procs. So normally it's every 10.6 seconds between blessings. I'll go ahead and show you here. So after it pops, we'll do a count. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi. So you can see it's 30%. Shortens the time in between heals by 30%, which is kind of like counterintuitive. Some of the way these like interactions work is not, you know, when you read the descriptions how you would expect it to work. So if you put like a more duration into this, it's going to actually hurt you instead of help you. On Shield Wall, we've got Font of Blood and Font of Rage. It's just kind of interesting, you know, to have like a rage generator and an additional health. You know, it's almost like a totem is how I'm using it, like a buff totem. And then we've got Leap Slam, Overpower, Fist of War, and Holy Descent. I don't use Leap Slam a whole lot other than as like getting up over ledges. Stampede. We've got Fire Infusion, Stomping Ground, Momentum, and Rage, because that rage generation occurs on each stomp and slam and Aftershock, so I can generate a lot of rage from one Stampede. Then on Scavenged Plating, we've got more duration and vitality. So those are the gems. Here's my current stat sheet. So just about maxed elemental resists. I could get it maxed if I wanted to, but I'm in the process of, I just upgraded this ring and I'm in the process of upgrading this ring and this amulet. And my plan is to have max elemental resists without having to use the sockets on the chest or the helmet. The helmet I wouldn't really worry too much if I did, but in the chest piece, I'm thinking I'll put the increased armor runes for the time being, because it has a lot of base armor but no percentage increase. And then also, I'll just show you looking at the skill tree. So this would give me 80% increased armor from my equipped body armor. So whatever increase I get on this, like whatever its total armor is, which if I increase it by 40% is going to take it up to, you know, between 800 and 900. Plus another 20% more on top of that, it'd be about 1,000. So plus 80% would be like 800 additional armor. So that's pretty decent. So go ahead and look at the gear. I crafted this hammer, made another video about that, but I bought it off of a shop with the +6 to all melee skills, and then just got really lucky on the transmute and augment. The transmute and augment, or sorry, the augment gave me like a damage mod, and then when I regaled it, it got another damage mod. And then as I Exalt Slammed it, it got another like partial damage and accuracy mod. So pretty good. I use Resolute Technique, so the critical damage bonus and the accuracy don't help me, but since this was a hybrid mod, it still picked up another 30% increased damage, so that was solid. Here's the helmet. I still need to, you know, I could boost my defenses more by putting the increased, you know, the armor scraps on them, but I'm not quite to that point yet. Like, I'm just kind of waiting, because like these are pretty good gloves, but I might want to get the expert with like higher armor, and I'm probably gonna get this. So the expert versions with the higher strength requirements will give me a lot more armor as well. So here's the amulet. I've been using it since like the start of the game, so I'm definitely wanting to upgrade it. This ring I'm looking to upgrade as well. Here's this shield. I wish it already had 20% quality, because I can't do anything now that it's corrupted, but I got it this way for like a couple exalts. I'll explain more on the shield here when we talk about the build a little bit more. This I was able to surprisingly buy for just a couple exalts. Very solid, I think, in terms of, you know, yeah, it doesn't have a ton of armor, but all the other stats on it are very good. The gloves are also very good. Could still get an upgrade though. I bought this belt just because I needed, you know, the stats. And the charm slots, I'm just kind of like not even worried about them at this point. I just use this charm to get better drops. Trying to get a belt with +2 charm slots at the moment, they're so expensive. It's just, to get one with decent stats as well is virtually, you know, you have to be very rich in game to be able to purchase that. These boots I've been using for a long time. I found them. So I would also like to upgrade my boots, but again, kind of expensive. And if I can't get the stats that I want, I'm just holding off for the time being, because even to get like a minor or like partial upgrade is fairly expensive. So looking at the passive tree here, you can kind of see I chose the defensive route here. I guess we'll go ahead and look at the ascendancy first. So I went this path for the slam skills, and I'm going to hulking form. I think this could also be, you know, decent, but most of the time that they're heavy stunned, I'm charging up the supercharged slam, and I'm just not sure Like, I think I'm gonna just miss, like, the heavy stunned status effect when my abilities go off, so I think it's probably not the right choice to get that. I think you would probably have to be using a different setup to fully take advantage of this. 15% more life would be good. It'd give me another like 500 health. And like this could be good too. So if I went, you know, with these two options, that would be decent as well. If I had just like a ton of armor on my chest piece. But also, I mean, the more multiplier when there's not really any increased multipliers doesn't, like, this may as well just be 15% increased life for my character at the moment, which I don't think is worth 2 ascendancy points. I think hulking form is pretty crazy when you think about it, because it's going to make every single minor node 50% better. So I'm going to get a ton of armor. I'm going to get extra regen. I'm going to get more mace damage. I'm going to get more aftershock chance, more stun buildup on these nodes. It should boost my strength and, you know, make my mana lower. I'll get more area of effect, area damage, armor break. When I do get hulking form, I'll be able to spec out of these two nodes into these two, and then that would put me at 95% armor break. And then I picked up this jewel yesterday in preparation for that, so I'll actually have 105 or 6% increased armor break from that, but it's going to give me more damage while holding a shield. You know, I just think hulking form, like when I stopped and thought about it, I think it'll give me like another 1.5, and I'm assuming it's rounding up, so these might turn into like +5 all stat nodes. And if that's the case, you know, it almost might be worth it to pick these up and then pick this up. I might also pick up iron reflexes, because I think if I can get, you know, additional evasion rating on gear as a stat, like that'll directly turn into armor. Just like a flat amount to my armor, which is pretty solid. Planning on getting this. Right now I'm not really getting stunned anymore, but that was like really the only way I was dying, is if I get stunned or frozen. So it might almost be worth it to utilize the frozen charm here, just to prevent myself from being frozen. But I kind of like the increased rarity. So we'll see. I may change that though, like if I'm dying, because I don't really want to die. But yeah, so if you go up here, pick this up, and then get 100% increased armor break, you'll 100% break armor, or break 100% of their armor each time you get a heavy stun. And so back to the shield. So if you pick up a shield with at least 38% block chance, and then you pick up glancing blows, you will have 75% block chance, like max block. And then these few points here, you'll get 1% increased damage per 1% chance to block, and that's gonna, you know, give you a 75% increased damage. So, you know, when it says just straight up damage, that typically, you know, in PoE 1 terms, which I'm just assuming basically everything, unless it states differently, in PoE 2 functions the same as it did in PoE 1. So damage means like all damage. It's not just like physical, it's not just, you know, with two-handed weapons or you know, what have you. So as far as my understanding goes, it's affecting any type of damage you could do. Correct me if I'm wrong though. I may also, I think there's another node up here where it's like, I don't know, there's another node just like this. Let me find it. Because I am considering possibly, let's see, let me just search for shield, and we should be able to find it like that. But yeah, there is, I know I saw it. Because I was a little surprised that they had like a very similar node. Of course, I can't find it now. Oh, yep, right there. So that could potentially be what I put on my amulet when I get a good amulet, because that'd be another 75% increased damage. The other one I was thinking of potentially was this, but even that's only like 50% increased attack damage. I mean, the 30 stun buildup is nice, but I don't know if I really need that stat. So this might be, you know, a pretty sizable damage boost that might make it worth picking that up. It's definitely something like that I will be testing. So, you know, I went through here, up to here, down here. I think the rage on hit is good. This is pretty good. Just having that increased, that percentage chance to gain maximum rage. Then I picked up a lot of increased strength nodes, percent increased like stat nodes. And then this gives you 1% increased damage per 15 strength. I'm up to 620 right now. I would like to stack strength on all of my gear because of the percentage boosts. I think when we're said and done, I'll have 10. I'm at 10, 15, 19% increased strength at the moment. Then that'll put me at 23. I'm not sure if there's any other like gear or anything that gives you percentage boosts to your stats, but if so, I would consider like picking it up. And so we've got Giant's Blood, of course, hugely important to the build. That's, you know, my character's name is Giant's Blood, because as soon as I saw that keystone, I knew I wanted to plan a build around that. So now I'll just show you kind of like the big wombo combo. Let that recharge. So the way that I play this build is I utilize Earthquake not only for like utility, area denial, slow, and damage, but with the ancestrally boosted empowerment keystone. Like if you're constantly doing Stampede, or let's say I do a Stampede and use the boost, and I heavy stun a boss, and now I want to hit it with a supercharged slam. Well, I also want that supercharged slam to be ancestrally boosted, because that gives me 20% more damage and 20% more AoE. So what you can do is, like, let's say we do this, we stun the boss, you know, you can quickly throw down an earthquake, and now you're back to being ancestrally boosted. So you can boom, boom, and then that way you can keep like your most powerful skill getting the ancestral boost. What I also do for the combo, we'll go ahead and, so if I do this, sorry, let me do it again. So it's going to keep your rage from deteriorating. Like, let's say you heavy stun a boss and you're charging up supercharged slam. You're not generating any rage anymore, so your rage is going to deteriorate, which is going to, again, be a big reduction in damage because rage is a more multiplier. So not only does like slamming this cause damage when it breaks, like it explodes and does damage, but it's going to keep your rage generating. So we'll go ahead and let it get to about 10. So we can do that, and that stores like the Infernal Cry stores like 10 rage. I think it's this one. So being empowered, it's going to do 15% more, and then if it consumes 10 rage, it's going to do another 30% more, and then if I consume 10 rage when I'm casting it, it's also going to do another 30% more. So when we get up to 10, we can recast that, and then you charge this up, and then that's gonna be like massive damage on a boss. Right now it's almost like I do so much damage to everything else, the time that it takes to fully charge it up is not worth it typically on anything other than a boss enemy. I wish that wasn't the case because I really like the skill and I like using it, but even just doing like one charge doesn't do enough damage to make it better than Stampede or even like my basic attack. My basic attack, I don't know if it's supposed to do this much damage, but it does so much damage even just with like these two gems and the martial tempo. Like the damage on it is so high, and I get that it's like a 4-link versus a 3-link, but sometimes I find myself just like mace striking an enemy because it's doing so much DPS. Once I figured out this concentrated effect thing and put the brutality on it, I think I would possibly put like bleed, and if I took, like, I may have to take off brutality because it makes you not do any elemental damage, but I would also consider putting like the lightning infusion and bleed, because then I could get like a bleed debuff and a lightning like shock debuff, and utilize like the gem that if the enemy's bleeding, it does like 30% more damage. That could be really good like on a single target. If I'm fighting a boss, I could just sit there, hit him with Mace Strike a couple times, get a bleed, get a shock, and then hit him with like a massive like supercharged slam. So that is kind of where the build is at right now, guys. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying the build. Gonna keep posting progress updates every so often as the build continues to kind of evolve and progress. I would like to get more life, more armor, max elemental resist, which we're close. I do enjoy how it's kind of a bit more challenging to hit capped resists, but that the game doesn't completely punish you like it does in PoE 1. Like, I can still survive that cold damage even with like 61% cold resist. Which maybe that's why those cold guys, like, why I feel like they're so much more dangerous, because my cold resistance is a little bit lower. So, once again, thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for watching. And remember to give them the D.